Hi, it's Alex from laughingplace.com. I'm here today with Zach Parrish and Keone and Mari Madrid, the director and choreographers of Us Again, the latest short from Walt Disney Animation Studios, streaming on Disney Plus on June 4th. Congratulations, guys. Must be exciting getting the short out there to the masses after its theatrical debut with Raya and the Last Dragon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Super excited to kind of hit a wider audience.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, I'm really excited for you guys. I love the short. Zach, I was curious to know, you're now graduated from the Disney Short Circuit program. Your short Puddles did a Disney Plus premiere last year, and now you're doing your first theatrical short for Disney. What was this experience like after having gotten that chance with Short Circuit to kind of prove yourself as a director, now stepping into a longer format?
Sure. It was that much more challenging. So I can only imagine what it's like, for the directors who are making features and everything. But it was amazing because we got to do, like a 4-month development process as well that kind of mirrors what the directors go through on our feature process. So, pitched multiple ideas, got that narrowed down to one, got to kind of refine it, do research and things like that. But I'd say the biggest difference is the amount of eyeballs that are on something of this scale. Puddles, we kind of flew under the radar a little bit, just kind of did our own thing. This was meant to feel much more like our feature process, and so there's a lot of notes and a lot of eyeballs on it, and so trying to make sure you're clear on your vision, you're communicating your vision properly, and then also absorbing all of those notes because everybody's pushing on it, trying to make it better and trying to make sure you are still making the thing that you want to make and know what you're trying to say while also like implementing all of these notes, I think was probably the biggest difference between the two.
Keone and Mari, I was curious to know what it was like in this case, doing choreography to original music. I know you've done a lot of choreography your whole lives, but in this case, you had a piece written specifically for this story that you were telling. I was curious to know what that was like when you first got that music.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, we really love storytelling and dance combined, and it was such a unique opportunity to have a director. Well, first of all, it's Disney animation is just really big and amazing, but also to have a director that sees the potential of dance as a storytelling vehicle, because not all people see dance that way. Even some dancers don't see it that way. So to be able to have that opportunity, and then on top of that, have the score made original, to be able to get it as final as a final as possible version as we could before we started making movement and having all of the story context. It made everything really easy for us. Also, just it was so cool because everything is in the music is tailored to the story. The arc of the song doesn't have to be like judged at all. It's already built into the music. So emotionally, as we go into each moment, we have all the tools that we need to do what we do, and just try to bring that emotion and the context and the emotion story points out through the movement.
Yeah, we're so used to, sometimes we'll get music before it's even out there. It's a choreograph to for an artist or something like that. And we have to try and, conjure some sort of story from it, even if it's not being asked. Even if the project doesn't call for that, but for this in particular, just it being a storytelling project and for it to be already there for us, and we're not having to, make up something during the first verse and then lead it up to the chorus. It really, there was no first verse, there was no chorus. It was just music all the way through and sounds for us to create movement too. So it was perfect for us.
Zach, for you directing this, 20, 30 years ago, hand-drawn animation, you might be able to use rotoscope type tools to make sure that the choreography translates directly to the screen, no problem. I'm assuming you can't quite do that in computer animation without switching to motion capture. Right. So what was that process like for the animators trying to match the incredible choreography that was done for the story?
I mean, I think you're spot on there. Like, there's a long legacy at Disney of using live action reference, to to get the detail of a scene working, to get something that feels physically believable, going all the way back to Snow White. And so it was very similar for this. You know, we did a big reference shoot with the dancers, both Keone, Mari, and some backup dancers as well, for additional crowds and things like that. And then we used that reference. That was probably the best tool we had in animation, was that video reference, because we could really just, it was all time synced so that we could, you know, cut it in editorial and have it frame accurate. And then that way we could just frame through it, and we knew that, you know, that motion was true. And then it was just like, okay, here's where we're going to deviate from it. Everybody okay? We're going to deviate here, and we're going to push this and push this and push this. But really it was about trying to create the essence of what we had in that reference, as opposed to literally what we had in that reference.
Back to Keone and Mari, I was curious if you can talk about your dance style for us again. It feels at times timeless, and then at other times very, very modern and boundary pushing. I was curious to know, you know, what your inspirations were and how you kind of walked along that balance.
Yeah, I guess we've been doing that with our movement for a while. You know, people will tell us that, and I think it just comes from being so inspired by you know, the musical era with Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, and being inspired by those early music videos that had story, that had theatrics in it, and taking what we know today and the foundation of hip hop mixed with so many other dance styles, we sort of have created this, this amalgamation of things. And my style is different from Mari's style, and us combined is a third style. And then we have gestural movement and range and large to small. So we're lucky to have like a menu to select from when we like, okay, where do we want to pick and choose, and who gets what? You know, what does art get? What does Dot get? What do they get together? And once you sort of just figure that out in a narrative sense, and understanding all the character goals that Zach really made clear to us, it was very simple to just make the moves. We can make moves all day, but it's really about the story and like the why behind each move.
And for Zach, last question, I was curious to know specifically about the Disneyland Easter Egg. You know, where did the idea come from to make the pier Paradise Pier? How much time did you guys have to spend to digitally build that entryway to get it into the short?
Yeah, no, I think that was, honestly, I think that was one of the faster conversations we had on the film. You know, as we were like, well, what should we call it? And so it was like Paradise Pier from Disneyland, and we were like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. And then you know, we had a couple options on the design of it from VizDev, but I think we kind of went with just kind of the simplest and cleanest. We didn't want to necessarily recreate literally what it is at Disneyland, but we kind of wanted a simple graphic read. And then Kevin Nelson, one of our environment modelers, he knocked it out in like a day and was like, here it is. I put it in the set. And we were like, this is awesome. Like, it was just one of those things that just, from as soon as we said, well, we need a sign over the pier, what is it? It was like, within a day and a half, we had this thing in the set, and it looked amazing. So that was one of the easier conversations on the whole film.
Cool. Well, it was a fun little moment to catch when I saw the short. And yeah, thanks again to all of you. Congratulations again on the wide release of Us Again on Disney Plus on June 4th.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.